Hello, everyone, and welcome back to another episode of Tanatastic Talks. Today, I'm interviewing a friend of mine who is currently on lockdown in Italy right now. Her name is Miranda Gallo. Don't forget to like and subscribe and share your stories down in the comments below. I want to know how you're doing.
Tell everybody a bit about just what you're doing in Italy, where you are in Italy, and
Mm.
yeah.
Sure. So, first, thanks for having me on your channel. I'm in Torino, Turin, Italy right now, which has become the epicenter of the outbreak of COVID-19. I was studying. I guess I still am studying an international law master's right now, but that's been paused given everything that's going on.
When did this whole thing start? Like, how did it begin?
It's a complicated
I
question.
know. Yeah.
It really spun out of control really fast. 10 days ago, I was in a restaurant with my friends. We were at a table for 8 people, even though we were 4 people. We thought it was crazy that we had to do mandatory social distancing, like 1 meter away from each other. But the cases got really high. It's a serious topic. It's now, in retrospect, I realize this was very serious. We are now in lockdown, self isolation, partially because I think people like myself still were going out even though we were advised. A lot of us didn't listen, and the result has been deadly, to be honest. If we leave our homes without a valid reason and official documentation, we could be fined and arrested even for 3 to 12 years. So it's really it's serious.
How would you say you're managing?
I think that's a day by day question.
Yeah,
I
that's
think
valid.
there's
Yeah,
some
that's
days,
important.
some days like this morning, I made myself like some nice Italian food. It was a good morning. I have no complaints. There are other days where maybe I'm cuddled up on my bed by myself with my head in the pillow, thinking, what is going
Like,
on?
what makes it
Mm.
a bad day for you?
On the things that make it a bad day really is giving into panic and fear.
Mm.
And the media, it's a complicated. I have a complicated relationship with the media right now, because on one hand, it's really my lifeline to the outside world, and to knowing. I need to follow it too because I need to know. In Italy, things are changing on a daily basis, just like the rest of
Yes.
the world right now. So one day something's legal, the next day it's not. For example, one day it was legal to leave your house and go to the grocery store. The next day it's not without official documentation. So that's serious. I have to follow that so I can
Yeah.
follow the law. On the flip side, it can be you can cave to sort of the hysteria that's out there,
Yeah.
and really feel, sometimes I check with myself like, what am I doing? I'm in the epicenter. There are people dying. Like this is serious. Trying not to give in to that hysteria, while still trying to keep up with everything and live life as normally as you can. That's I guess um, that's what makes it tough sometimes.
Hmm.
And also, it can be very easy. It sounds a little bizarre, but once you find yourself in this situation, it can be easy to give into self pity. And even I found myself on occasion, I'm already self isolating, and then even isolating myself further by
Mm.
not wanting to have social interaction, by feeling so sorry for myself that I don't even want to talk to the outside world anymore. And that's dangerous. So one of the things that I would really advise people, if you find yourself in this situation, is really just to check your mental health every single day, sometimes 3 times a day. Constantly check in with yourself, because your meter can change very quickly,
Yeah.
depending on the circumstances around you, what you're feeding into your life, like through social media or loneliness, isolation. It's a very different, unique situation.
Yeah. Like, I know it was funny. It was last night. I realized I'm I'm kind of prepared because I've done this, but
Yeah,
just because I couldn't leave the house. But then
exactly.
on the flip side, it's like I'm thinking about, the fact that over the last few months I've been able to go out and do more
Mm,
and start creating a routine, and now to have to basically remove myself from that routine, you know, I'll have to create a new one basically. So
yeah.
have you created like a new routine for you that's been like pretty successful in your mind? Or like, again, does that change every day?
Yeah.
Like what's going on with that?
Yeah, it's funny you bring that up because I mean, it's unfortunate that you've sort of lived the quarantined lifestyle to some extent, through what you were struggling with,
Yeah.
So, for you to bring up routine and schedule, that's something like the significance of having a routine and a schedule is something I actually only realized yesterday.
Mm,
But
okay.
I mean, this is obviously present in your mind because you've been there.
Hmm.
But yes, it is important. What I often am telling people that, some of my friends are now in self-isolation is just, find a schedule that works for you and make sure you have things to look forward to in the day.
Hmm.
I try and plan my day. So, okay, this is going to be my groceries this day. I'm cooking this meal or that meal
Hmm.
at this time. Maybe I have an interview with a friend or a media channel or whoever
Yeah.
to look forward to. Or here at 6 p.m. in my neighborhood is when everybody comes out to their balconies and sort of sing songs and is applauding each other and the medical staff here in Italy.
Now,
So
what would you say in this time, being at home, not being able to leave, what would you say gives you hope?
I would say first and foremost, honestly, all the messages of support
Hmm.
and that I've gotten from text messages to calls. A lot of people, even my previous churches, have been praying for me. Um, that makes a huge difference. Just it's it's part of the bigger picture of just knowing that you're not alone, right?
Yeah.
And that there are other people that are thinking of you, that are checking up on you. Like I said, every day at 6 p.m., I know that I'm going to go outside and see other people who are experiencing very similar emotions and struggles to me, that are
Hmm.
going to be singing their hearts out on their balcony, that are going to be clapping and dancing and doing silly things just to encourage each other. I mean, if you're not in that situation, if you are in your home, maybe you don't have neighbors or maybe you don't have a balcony even, or whatever, any connection to the outside world, it might feel that way. But I think maybe it would help, even if you initiate checking up on others you might know that are in self isolation, sending people messages. I think that it's just, as human beings, we crave
Yeah.
social connection, right? We need each other. So whether that's people messaging you or you keeping in touch and checking up on other people, I think that's really key to hanging on to that hope. As well, like again, like just keeping the bigger picture in mind that you are not doing this. You're not being punished to stay at home.
Yeah.
You're doing this for the greater good. You're doing this for your friend with asthma or your grandmother who's over 80 or 70 or whatever it is. You're doing this for other people to make sure that they don't get sick. It's for a greater good and a greater purpose, and it's not an easy thing to do, but in the grand scheme of things, I think it's something that we can accomplish.
It is definitely. Well, thank you so much for being with me today, for taking the time out of your day to, figure this all out with me. And